Hey everybody, this is Daniel with the Bothersome Truth. I want to talk about who Trump selected for Education Secretary position. Her name is Betsy DeVos. And I want to talk about why I am concerned about this pick. Before I get into it, I want to make a little bit of a confession because this video is going to be a little different than the others. If you talk to me on Facebook and you see the debates I do, you will see that I don't profess to know everything about everything. Now, if you knew me from my younger days, you know that that's a departure because I was kind of a know-it-all when I was younger. But on this issue of education, I don't work in the education field, so I did a lot of digging to really understand what's going on with this pick, and I've listened to a lot of different educators, both on Facebook and in the national sphere through my research with the media to really understand this. So I'm going to give you some details. I'm going to try not to wade outside my realm, but I'm hoping that this video will be a conversation between myself and educators. Whether you're a principal, whether you're a teacher, you're a tutor, I want to hear from you. I'd like to see your comments. I'd like to hear some conversation with you on this because I have my concerns about this pick and I've listened to a lot of dialogue on it and read a lot of articles, but I really want to hear from teachers because I think part of the issue that you're going to see from who he picked is that we're not listening to teachers. So let's talk about Betsy DeVos. Now, he has selected Donald Trump. She is a businesswoman, Michigan Republican, and charter school advocate. Her husband made money from Amway. That's where they got their money. And then her brother also started, what's the name of it? Also Blackwater, a mercenary group. But we're going to focus on her. I just want you to have a little bit of her background. So when you hear that this billionaire is now going to be running the education, you may be thinking to yourself, so what experience does she have? You're asking that question. I did too. I'm wondering, okay, I have never heard her name before. What do I know about this person and what have they done? So come to find out, she has no education experience. She's never been a teacher. She's never been a principal. She didn't even send her kids to public school. Now she's going to be running education for the entire country. So now I'm concerned. And I'm a little worried, but I'm still doing research. And I'm saying, okay, let's learn a little bit more about her because we want to make sure we be fair and give her a chance. This woman has given millions to Republicans in Michigan so that she can push school vouchers and school choice. Now, I want to break this down for a little bit. To explain this issue and different sides of it. So she's pushing for something called school vouchers. School vouchers are when the government gives families a certain amount of money that they can use toward going to the school of their choice. Let's say you live in an area where the public school isn't doing as well. And as a parent, you want your kid to go to a good school because you want them to have access to hopefully a better life than you had. So the vouchers are for a certain amount of money, $5,000, $6,000, whatever it is, depending on the area. And that money can go toward you taking your kid to another school and then going toward the cost of tuition of that school. Now that sounds great, but the devil is in the details. So that money that the family gets for the vouchers, that's tax money. It's your money and that's my money. So that's an investment on our part, in a sense, because we're investing in the future. Well, who's getting that funding? That could go toward any school, including private schools, including schools that teach religion. And now let me make a clear statement here. I'm not saying that people can't believe as they want. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying we need to honor and respect separation of church and state. And so when the vouchers are used for just any school, they could be used for private schools, they could be used for religious schools that don't teach information such as evolution, which is a proven scientific theory. They don't teach this in keeping with the standards and the same level of rigor that public schools have. Okay? Now, it actually gets a little worse. Because if you are a family that's in a rural area, school choice sounds great. Unless there's no schools for you to choose from in your area. Now, when it comes to school choice. Now the kids are going to the public school and the vouchers don't always cover everything. And so these kids may go to charter schools as well. Now, Betsy DeVos has given a lot of money to Republicans, and when I say a lot of money, I mean millions. We're going to come back to this in a second. And she advocates all the time for school choice because we want to do what's best for the child. And I agree that we should be doing what's best for our children as well. But this doesn't sound like we're doing what's best for the children. Because what I see as I research this issue more and more that puts a knot in my stomach and frustrates me and it makes me angry, especially as a big brother who has 2 younger siblings in high school right now. And I have like 5 nieces and nephews who are all under the age of 5 and are going to be going through the school system. I see this charter school system that although you have various schools where the kids do better than public school, there's a lot of schools, including in Michigan where DeVos was working with lobbying, who aren't doing as well as the kids in the public schools. Even the public schools that aren't doing as well. And these charter schools are not being held to the same standards. They don't have the same rigor. So you can have people who are con artists just opening a school. Sometimes they pick the best kids from the public schools or the private schools so that their ratings will go up and they don't have to spend as much money. They don't always pick kids who have disability needs because they don't want to spend more money on the kids. So what we have here is this system where we have taken a public good, which is public education, okay? And we've switched it out with a profit model where all we care about more than anything else is the bottom line. And this is not good. And this is just not on Donald Trump. This is also on President Obama and his embracing of charter schools without also challenging them to have the same standards of rigor and of accountability that public schools have. Still, I think it gets a little worse here. So, the Detroit Free Press has done some good coverage on this, and I'm going to put all of this in the description like I do with every video. Basically, you can see in the coverage that the Michigan Congress was going to push for more accountability and higher standards for charter schools. And then all of a sudden, they decided not to. They all changed their minds. Ironically, after they all changed their minds, they all got donations from DeVos and the Republicans there. And I'm talking about $180,000 to the Michigan Republican Party. The next day, family members of DeVos made another $475,000 in contributions to the party. And that was just the start. In total, the DeVos family went on a donations binge that eventually grew to $1.45 million to different GOP candidates. There's even more. I'm not going to go over all of it because there's a lot of money she's given. In fact, a group that she has funded even advocated to bring back child labor. Now, why am I talking about all this? Because maybe you have felt the pit in your stomach that this woman is now going to run the education department for the United States. Somebody who has no experience in the classroom, no experience teaching, no experience in school administration, none at all. I don't even know if she's ever been a tutor before. And she's going to be making decisions about what's best for our young people as she is slanted not in favor of the best approach for our children, whatever it is. She is slanted toward her approach. Results be damned. That scares me. And I've been saying this word a lot lately with Trump's elections. Concerned, frightened, feared, scared. Because I see the ramifications of these decisions. You can't just pick these people and then think that they're going to do the opposite of what they're hired to do. They've been doing this all this time. And these are right-wing corporatist people that have been chosen in Trump's administration. They're billionaires. How reasonable is it to think that they're going to embrace policies for working class people? that benefit our environment, that help cut down the cost of healthcare so that everyone has affordable healthcare in this country. Why do we think they're going to do that when they haven't been doing it to this point? And I think education is big, folks, because I think education opens doors. I feel like I've become a better person, a wiser person, because of education and access to books and access to articles and access to mentors and wonderful teachers who, not getting paid what they deserve, still give to their students each and every day. My mentor, my favorite teacher, my journalism teacher from high school, she changed my life because she saw me and believed in me when I didn't even know what I was capable of. I wouldn't be in front of you right now talking about the news, having a background in news, both in high school, in college, in internships. I wouldn't be to this point if it weren't for people like her, if it weren't for her and other teachers who believed in me along the way and encouraged me to be better. So when we're talking about this story, this is not just about Betsy DeVos getting the position and overreaction or reaction. This is a sober analysis of what this appointment can do or could do to the future of our young people, to the future of our teachers, to the future of American education. I think American education needs serious reform, but not this. I think we should be doing whatever's best for our teachers, for the parents to support the students and the students. There's a lot of things that I would advocate, and I think there's time for that in another video. This one feels kind of long already. But that's why I'm concerned, and that's why I think we need to be paying attention to Mrs. DeVos, and we may need to be holding her accountable every day. Because if she starts making decisions that are not in the best interest of our students, this could put us on an even worse track in America that could lead to so many problems going forward because we didn't, costs that we will have to pay later because we weren't willing to pay the cost now to give all of our children, no matter their background, their race, their ethnicity, their ability status, no matter, accounting for all of it, giving them the very best education that they deserve as Americans and as children. This has been Dave with Bottles of Truth. Again, I can't wait to hear from educators, tutors, students, everyone to get your thoughts on this. I hope I did this story justice, and I'll talk to you next time.